I'm the Manager of Emergency Management with the City of Regina.
Jay, you've you've been dealing with floods in Regina actually for quite a number of years. So how does this compare to the recent flooding that you've seen in the city?
This is definitely a significant event, as Helena said, for the city. In the past, we've always been prepping for creek-based flooding, looking at trying to keep the creek contained to its boundaries. This is a different situation where the rain is coming from outside the creek and we're trying to get it into the creek as quickly as we can. Unfortunately, it's the nature of our city and the soil type and stuff that we have. Water doesn't always flow as quickly in the direction that we would like, and some of our older infrastructure isn't set up the way that current best practices would have it set up. As Helena was saying, new locations are typically built with separate systems. Some of our older systems are still combined, so it's definitely a challenge for us.
That being said, though, is there concern that once we get all the water into the creek, are we going to have to kind of refocus the shift and focus on making sure the water doesn't exceed the banks there?
At this point in time, no, it's not a concern for us. We have been keeping an eye on the levels in the system. We're in touch with the Water Security Agency, and as Helena alluded to, they're opening the sluice gates at the Albert Street Weir, and that's just to build capacity within the lake. So any more rain that's coming and any of the water that fell in our catchment area to the southeast that flows through the city here, that's just to build capacity for that. But at this time, we don't have any significant concerns with the creek itself overtopping and spilling into the communities. What we have seen is where it surcharges some of the storm systems that drain in there and it pushes it back up through manhole covers. And so we have those locations under attention right now. We're keeping an eye on them, and if we get more rain, we'll certainly be focusing energies around that.
Well, it looks like we're getting more rain. Obviously, it's still raining now. It's expected to rain for the rest of the day, and there's a storm possibly for tomorrow afternoon. So how do you prepare for that then? Do you need to do any sandbagging along those areas where you traditionally sandbag?
Well, again, traditionally sandbagging is to keep the water into the creek system. Here, sandbagging actually works against us in most situations. It prevents the water from getting to where we want it to go. So instead, we're looking at pumping operations and making sure, like Helena's crews are out there right now, making sure the catch systems are open, that the water can flow as quickly to where we want it to go as possible. We do have our stores of sandbags still, and if we need them, they are ready to go. We've been checking on those resources, but at this point in time, we have no intentions to deploy any.
Sir, why did you say that sandbagging can work against you?
Well, if you set up sandbags for a creek-based flood, what it does is it keeps the water in the creek system. But if you set that up now, what that does is prevent the water flowing towards the creek from sometimes getting into the creek. So we want to make sure we keep the pathways open for the water to get to the creek system and out of our city as quickly as possible.
You mentioned this is a long weekend. How many additional staff has the city called in to deal with the situation?
Well, the three of us sort of leading the charge at the moment are all supposed to be on vacation right now. But we've asked a lot of our staff to come in. There's some of our shift staff are in on shift, but a lot of parts staff and other departments have come to aid us in this weekend. So as the mayor alluded to, I think we have 60 some odd staff that have been working pretty much around the clock for the last 24 hours to make sure that this is going as well as possible.
Do you have any idea how many homes have been impacted?
The same as Helena said, we know that we've had about 404 service requests, I think, have come through last report. I don't know how many of those are directly related to home flooding as opposed to catchment issues. I know that I'm starting to receive some calls from homeowners saying that they've had some flooding, so we know there is a problem and we are aware of it. We're just waiting for those numbers to come in. We know that we will need a provincial disaster assistance program, and so we're just collecting the data on that. We'll be taking that before council at our earliest opportunity for them to pass a resolution, and then we go to the province from there requesting the program.
And what are homeowners telling you about what they're seeing in their houses?
Mostly, we're just getting a lot of reports about the water, where it's coming in, whether it's sewer, whether it's overland coming in through the windows and stuff like that. We have some people with concerns around their water heaters and things with pilot lights and the gas appliances as well as the electrical circuits. So we've been trying to reinforce our public safety messaging around that. If you have concerns, call Sask Energy, call Sask Power. They'll send somebody around to check your house. When in doubt, turn it off. That's always the safest. But try to make an informed decision around that. And if you're getting water coming rapidly into the basement, it's probably not the place you want to be. A lot of people want to go down there to move possessions and stuff. If water's coming in quickly, you don't want to get stuck in the basement, so just be very cautious of that as well. And if there's, in some cases, it's not just clean rainwater that's coming in, it's sewer water as well. And so be cautious of what's in that. Make sure that you're maintaining your hygiene and stuff like that. Wash, try and stay out of the water if it's that dirty. And in the event that we do get a PDAP program, what the government will be looking for is photographic evidence, like take lots of pictures of the water, and if you're pumping or doing anything to clean up, you start removing drywall, any of those sorts of things, make sure you document what you're doing and take lots of pictures, and that will help your claim in the future.
Do you know what this means for insurance for people's homes? Do you happen to know that?
I know that for a lot of people, insurance will cover sewer backup. I'm not sure how much that covers, but they won't cover flooded basements from overland flooding. So it's a little bit of a catch-22. So the first step for everybody after they've taken care of their safety is to contact the insurance provider, and insurance will tell them whether it's insurable. If it's not, the insurance company should provide for them a letter of refusal, and they'll need that as well for their provincial claim. Again, I know sewer backup has been considered in the past, but overland flooding from stormwater usually is not.
Just about the PDAP application that you said it has to go before council. Are there any steps that you need to do? Do you have to declare states of emergency, anything like that, or get that process going?
No, we rely on Jay and the staff to write a report to City Council for the application process to start. City Council will meet either in an emergency situation or as needed, as required. And once that resolution is passed, then we apply to the province for assistance.
And because of the holiday, we're looking at Wednesday?
Wait for our officials to come forward. We'll meet when we have to meet. We're not going to wait for a scheduled meeting of City Council or Executive Committee. We'll meet as soon as we can.
The PDAP process, what happens after it goes through council? Does it go to the province or?
Yeah, the Provincial Disaster Assistance Program, it's actually federal money that's provided but administered by the province. So what we as a city do is we have to collect information on the damage and make sure that we meet the criteria for a program. We go through council to access that program. Then it goes to the province and they take a look at it internally and decide whether we're eligible. If we are, which I'm fairly certain in this case we will be, they will provide us the application forms, and they're a unique form different to every event that we apply for. So they'll set us a unique set of application forms, and we'll make those available to the public through our website and probably through City Hall as we have traditionally done. And then from there, they're dealing exclusively with the province. Our office is, of course, available to answer questions if people have them, but it is a provincially administered program.